Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome back into the channel. So, have you ever noticed how life can change overnight? We're talking one phone call, one unexpected opportunity, one sudden ending, or one quiet realization that can shift everything. And astrologers have long associated those turning points with eclipses. So, before we dive in, astrology is best understood as symbolic language, more like a weather forecast than a force that makes things happen. So, a forecast does not cause rain, but it can help you know when to bring an umbrella. Eclipses are similar. So, they're seen as periods when life accelerates, doors close and open, truths are hidden truths surface, and events can unfold faster than expected. So on August 12th, 2026, we experience one of the most powerful astrological events of the year, a total solar eclipse in the sign of Leo. Many astrologers consider solar eclipses to be among the strongest reset points in astrology because they often coincide with major beginnings that continue unfolding over the next 6 months, and sometimes even several years. So, whether you believe astrology reflects life symbolically or simply use it as a tool for self-reflection, eclipses can be a meaningful time to pause, notice what's changing, and think intentionally about where you want to go next. So today, we're going to cover what a solar eclipse actually is, why astrologers pay so much attention to eclipses, why Leo eclipse is so important, how you can work with this energy instead of resisting it, and finally, this eclipse could influence every zodiac sign if you're a sun, moon, or rising. Let's get started. From an astrology perspective, a solar eclipse happens when the moon passes directly between Earth and the sun. So, briefly blocking the sun in the path of totality. So, day can turn to dark, temperatures may drop, animals may be quiet, and the sky changes in a way that feels unforgettable. So, astrology, the sun represents identity, direction, purpose, vitality, and the conscious self, while the moon represents your emotions, instincts, memories, habits, and the inner world. During a total solar eclipse, the moon temporarily obscures the sun. Symbolically, astrologers interpret this as the emotional and unconscious parts of ourselves briefly overshadowing the conscious ego. So, creating space for new chapters to begin. That's why eclipses are often associated with endings that make room for beginnings, or sudden shifts that change our direction. Sometimes these changes feel exciting. Sometimes they're uncomfortable. But many people describe looking back months later and realizing the eclipse marked the beginning of an important new phase in their lives. So, a normal new moon invites fresh starts. So, a solar eclipse turns that energy up several levels. It can coincide with unexpected news, new opportunities, maybe some relationship shifts. You could have endings or inner realization that you're ready to become a different version of you. Not everyone experiences dramatic external events during eclipses, but many people notice meaningful internal changes, new perspectives, or decisions that gradually reshape their lives over the following months. So this eclipse happens in the sign of Leo. So Leo is ruled by the sun itself. That makes this eclipse especially symbolic because the sign associated with the sun is experiencing the temporary darkening of the sun. Now, Leo represents creativity and living from your heart. Leo asks one important question: are you living as your authentic self, or are you living a version of yourself that other people expect? That's the question this eclipse may bring to the surface. Many people may feel called to step into greater visibility, express themselves more openly, reconnect with creative passions, or leave behind roles that no longer reflect who they have become. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to force huge manifestations during an eclipse. So instead, observe, listen, and pay attention. If doors close, don't panic. If opportunities appear, stay open. If someone exits your life, ask what lesson has been completed. And if something keeps calling your heart, don't ignore it. This is also a good time to journal, meditate, spend time in nature. Reflect on what no longer feels real. Reconnect with your creative side with those projects. Practice gratitude and get extra rest if eclipse season feels emotionally intense. Most importantly, trust that not every answer has to arrive immediately. Some eclipse stories unfold over several months, so you have to give yourself time. Remember, listening to your rising sign first, if you know it, because many astrologers use the rising sign to describe how the transit will activate different areas of your life. Now, your sun sign can describe the theme related to your identity and your purpose, while the sun sign may reflect how you experience the feelings emotionally. So, let's start off with you, Aries. So, Aries, sun, moon, rising. This eclipse lights up creativity, romance, children, entrepreneurship, and authentic self-expression. So stop asking for permission. The world needs the real you. For you, Taurus, your attention shifts toward home, family, emotional security, and the foundation you are building. Sometimes your strongest foundation is not a place. It is the peace you have built within yourself. For you, Gemini, your voice becomes your superpower. This is dealing with your communication, your teaching, maybe something you're writing, something you're putting on social media, maybe something you're learning, or simply you networking. Conversations you have during the months following this eclipse could open completely new doors. So you gotta speak your truth because someone needs to hear it. Cancer. This eclipse focuses on your relationships with money and your self-worth. You may receive new income opportunities, possibly change careers, or maybe you negotiate higher pay. Maybe finally you recognize your own value. So the biggest wealth shift begins the moment you stop undervaluing yourself. For you, Leo, this is your eclipse. This is your personal reset. This is your identity, your appearance, your purpose, and your direction. Everything is being refreshed. The old version of you may no longer fit anymore, and that's okay. You're becoming someone new. Allow yourself to evolve. For you, my Virgos, this eclipse invites deep healing. You may need more rest than usual, so old emotions could surface during this time. Dreams may become much more vivid, and private reflection can be easily or especially valuable during this time. Sometimes your greatest transformation happens quietly before anyone else notices. For you, my Libras, friendships and community take center stage. Some friendships may naturally go away. New ones can pop up. You could find yourself joining organizations. You're possibly building an audience and possibly just collaborating. Finally, you discover the people who truly support your dreams. Your future is connected to the people you choose to grow with. For you, my Scorpio, your career receives a powerful spotlight. Recognitions, promotions, leadership coming into play, or an entirely different professional direction could emerge during this time. You may feel called to pursue work that better reflects the real purpose of you. Success becomes much more fulfilling when it aligns with who you truly are. Sagittarius, your inner world expands. We're talking travel, education, teaching, publishing, spiritual growth, maybe even learning new beliefs. You may realize you've outgrown an old world view. Growth begins the moment you become willing to see life differently. Capricorn, transformation during this time runs deep. We're talking shared finances, taxes, investments, any debts you have, possibly emotional healing. Maybe there's some trust that comes to play. and we're talking intimacy. You may release emotional burdens you've carried for years. The strongest version of yourself isn't one who carries everything alone. This is the one who knows when to let go. Aquarius. Relationships become the major story for you. What are we talking about? We're talking about romantic relationships, business partnerships, close friendships. Some relationships could deepen and become closer, while others, they naturally reach completion. So ask yourself one question. Do the people closest to you support the person you're becoming? Pisces, your daily routines receive an upgrade. We're talking about your health, your work, productivity, your schedules, and your habits. Small daily improvements made after this eclipse can create remarkable long-term results. Never underestimate the power of consistent, intentional change. So some final thoughts here. Whether you're deeply immersed in astrology or simply curious about it, the August 12th, 2026 solar eclipse invites us to reflect on where life is asking us for a fresh start. So rather than fearing change, consider becoming an active participant in it. Pay attention to the opportunities that arise. Notice what no longer fits. Stay open to conversations, ideas, and experiences that spark genuine excitement. For many people, this eclipse won't be remembered because the sky briefly grew dark. It will be remembered because looking back months later, you'll realize it marked the beginning of an entirely new chapter for you. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know your sun, moon, rising sign, maybe what area of life feels like it's beginning to change. So if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and possibly share it with somebody who loves astrology or would like to understand how this total solar eclipse will affect them. I love you guys. I hope you found it to be very helpful. And until the next one, I will talk to you soon.